what has happened with the Citizenship Amendment Bill. The bill itself, as the government keeps pleading, is only meant to benefit persecuted minorities in 3 neighboring countries. That's still not a good enough answer, because the fact is that the principle of the bill is wrong, since nowhere in the history of the Indian Constitution has a religious test been prescribed for citizenship until this bill, which identifies only specific religious denominations that can qualify. The second problem of principle is why these religions and why these countries? First, BJP said it was to complete the unfinished business of partition. That explains Bangladesh and Pakistan. But why Afghanistan? Then they said it's only persecuted minorities. But are they not persecuted minorities in other countries? Have we not seen the Rohingyas of Myanmar? Myanmar was part of India till 1935. Have we not seen the persecuted minorities, the Rohingyas, coming here? They don't get refugee status in this country. What about the Sri Lankan Hindus, the Sri Lankan Tamils, Hindus, Muslims and Christians who have been persecuted in Sri Lanka during the bad years there and have been in Tamil Nadu for 20 years? Is the government not prepared to extend the same benefits to them? The answer is no. Why not? Even though a majority of them are Hindus? But this government of the BJP is only interested in Hindi-speaking Hindus. So that too doesn't work. So there is no logical consistency to the argument in this bill. And to imply that in Muslim majority countries a Muslim cannot be persecuted is wrong. We have given refuge to Taslima Nasreen, to Dawood Haider, writers and intellectuals who had to flee Bangladesh. We have given refuge to Ahmadiyyas and Shias from Pakistan, Hazaras from Afghanistan, who are all Muslim in our constitution, all Muslim under our laws, but who are persecuted in those countries. So why should we restrict ourselves only to non-Muslims? The short answer is it's part of a continuing project to create a Hindu Rashtra and to disenfranchise Muslims. Let me say that the Citizenship Amendment Bill, now Act, is only the thin end of the wedge. The larger part of the wedge is yet to come, and that can be found in Mr. Amit Shah, the Home Minister's statement in Parliament, that we will have a nationwide National Register of Citizens. What is that? Every Indian citizen is going to be asked to demonstrate their eligibility for Indian citizenship by producing documentation issued by a reputed government body that shows when and where they were born. Well, in Kerala, most of you won't have a problem. But in the rest of the country, many parts of India, till quite recently, birth certificates were not that common. Particularly poor Indians, rural Indians, slum dwellers, minorities, marginalized people do not have the documentation to show that they were born in India on such and such a date. Even Mr. Modi's Council of Ministers has a minister who was Army Chief, V.K. Singh, who went to court claiming that he didn't have an authentic birth certificate and the date given in his school admission was wrong. So when you're in a country where so many people don't have convincing proof of date of birth and place of birth, how can you make that a test for citizenship in our country? A lot of people will fail this test. We know that already in Assam. What happened in Assam? They conducted a register of citizens there and they found 19 lakh people ineligible, more than half of whom were not Muslims. So this bill is designed to exempt those who get trapped by the National Register of Citizens. Those people will be told, it's okay, under the Citizenship Act, you can stay. But if you are Muslim, you don't qualify under the Citizenship Act. Now imagine what happens tomorrow if somebody living in Bombay is brought before a National Register of Citizens, has no documentation. He or she will be told, sorry, how can you prove you're not from Bangladesh? And they will say, but I'm born here, my parents are born here, my grandparents are born here. And they will say, well, show us your birth certificate, and many people won't have it. It will become an excuse to strip them of their citizenship, of their voter identity card, of their job, their homes, their rights in this country. And the BJP government has already begun building internment camps to house all these people, because they cannot be deported since no neighboring country wants to accept them, but they will be essentially stripped of all the meaningful rights that they are entitled to enjoy as citizens of India. And I say to the non-Muslims in this room, is that acceptable to us? Can we stand idly by while this disenfranchisement takes place in our Muslim brothers and sisters? I ask you, are you prepared to accept that? Are you prepared to accept this injustice? Then you are standing for our Constitution, because our Constitution does not provide for this injustice.